It's the 4th of Feb, and this is your crypto daily update. The markets went down over the last 48 hours, and it was brutal. Over 10 billion, maybe even 12 or more billion dollars worth of liquidations. Not just market cap being lost, but literal people being liquidated on their positions. And on top of that, it then bounced back up to a decent level. So if you're in leverage, you got wrecked. If you weren't in leverage, you would be fine. Now, let's go over that, and there's very, very bullish news coming later today as well. Firstly, though, I'm just going to point out that I'm seeing a lot more stuff regarding Ethereum from people I don't even follow. I used to follow Cecil many, many moons ago. He's an ETH maxi. He provides a lot of value to the Ethereum community. And there's a lot of teasing between the two blockchains, mostly Sol and ETH, as we have the most amount of mind share behind Bitcoin. Having said all that, it's on my attention. Like, I have a little bit of attention. If ETH looks like it's going to bounce, I would buy some and I would take profits along the way. That's how I would do it. Not financial advice, but I do feel there's going to be some sort of rotation into Ethereum. We've already seen this with the amount of money that's being bridged into the Ethereum ecosystem. So it is undervalued. It's not a long-term hold for me, though. Portals PFPs are coming. I would love to see how these look. I think Portals will do well. It's probably going to be the most popular metaverse. Having said that, it's not anywhere like Roblox. I know that's their goal, but they don't have the tools to be able to ship as well as Roblox or whatever. So it will take some time. It's still a crypto Web3 project with millions of dollars of funding, not hundreds of millions. So I'm not trying to set expectations too high. Just it should be pretty decent. I'm looking forward to their token generation event, and I will definitely be DLMMing that. Masari catch up. I'm not going to focus on too much other than the Bitcoin dominance hits all-time high in terms of this cycle. That's going to start to fall soon. It could be this February or March, more likely going to be March. And then we'll see a little bit more of an alt season, but it's not going to be a crazy alt season. We'll cover that shortly. Radium monthly volume, they're on one blockchain, and Uniswap is on like 20 or so, and they've actually surpassed the amount of volume this last month in January. So good news for them. Now, the trade war, you're probably familiar with this. 25% tax levied against Canada and Mexico, unless you deal with the drug problem. They had meetings, and those meetings were kind of resolved in a 30-day pause on the tariffs. They get their borders under control. They start to be more strict. It's going to be far more of a we'll work with you approach. You just got to kind of go in there with guns blazing. That's what they chose. The markets did not like it. If new tariffs come in a month, the market will not react as bad. And then in 4 months, it will not react as bad. And by the 4th time, it would be like China banning Bitcoin, which they've said 5 times a year for the last 10 years. So in other words, the news will get less and less and less. And it was probably a very smart idea as soon as you heard that to actually start shorting. So I didn't understand why I didn't make that connection immediately, but it was pretty obvious that there would be a dump. And it was pretty obvious to me that there would be a resolution on this. But you never know, because Trump is Trump, right? And sometimes he could let a few days pass before he tries to resolve it, to let it sink in. You just can't read his mind or his administration's mind. So it could have gone down lower, but we pumped on up. Now, having a look here at this trade war. So what's happened is China has gone and fought back, and they've gone and put a 15% tariff on US coal and 10% on other stuff. So they're adding tariffs as a way to kind of move on back. However, what's going to happen, of course, will be meetings, and they're going to work things out. It's very, very difficult to start putting tariffs on without some sort of pushback. Mexico and Canada, they have to kind of do what they say. China does not have to do what they say. China can push back, and they've got their own economy that they can kind of keep supported. Now let's have a listen from Bonk Guy, who's very good with leverage. He turned 16,500 bonk up to millions and millions, well over 10 million. It's down now. And there's some people on the timeline hoping Bonk Guy got liquidated. If you're wishing, it doesn't matter how much you dislike a person. And I don't know why people would dislike Bonk Guy. But if you dislike someone, you shouldn't wish pain and suffering on them, right? Like you never want to, even if it's someone that's annoying, you don't want to wish that their bags go to zero. You want everyone to win, which doesn't happen, but you want that. Long story short, you can have a read through this, but it's not a pleasant time. There will be people that have lost a whole lot. One of my friends who didn't leverage trade much, but ended up adding more and more collateral, didn't have a stop loss, ended up losing $17,000, $18,000, which was probably like a sizable portion of his portfolio. And it's just because you didn't have a stop loss. And I guess in the future, if I'm going to leverage trade, I'm going to kind of mention when I'm entering a position, when I'm exiting. But for the most part, I'm not. I'm just going to be in deal mimming, and I'm just going to do a spot because it's far safer. You will make it all back, but you need to lock in. And in general, read through this, but don't leverage trade unless you've got like very good risk management, stop losses, and you see that there's a little bit more stability in the markets. It's too early now. If you do it now, it's a little bit too greedy. In general, though, the markets are green. XRP booming, SUI's up massively. Go and check your SUI position. If you're, you may have been liquidated because that was pretty brutal. Who would have expected to go down from like $5 to like $2.50 or something? But that's just what happens with a younger ecosystem. Sol, of course, went from like, well, it hit like 290, I guess, but that was not really there for that long. Maybe like 250 was kind of high. It would have been like 250 going down to 125. So it was a brutal, brutal time. And remember, I said yesterday, you want to buy when things are fearful. If you're entering a trade and it looks like it go up, but we're sitting here in this green area and the RSI is kind of high, and there's a few things like that, you're probably best off putting a very tight stop loss so you lose like a small amount, not financial advice, but like 5%, 10% or whatever is your portfolio management strategy. Or you just skip it. You hold spot until we get fearful again. That fear, that was certainly a time to buy. In general, have we seen any massive movers? Radium is one of those tokens, which is, if you wanted to just trade it, you can just buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. This would be a very good thing to sell, buy and sell. I reckon you could start with, we may as well actually start doing it. And we'll be a little cheeky. We'll do it in DYOR. Maybe we can live stream later today. But it always, because they have the buy pressure, because they have the majority of the market share of AMM volume, it always has this buy pressure. So it's a very good token to actually trade, buy, sell, buy, sell. And I'll point that out to you later. Having a quick look at Cato, this is fantastic as a resource. And ETH is top of mindshare. Bitcoin's been top of mindshare normally. Bitcoin, Sol, let's have a look over the last 7 days. But now that ETH it's just kind of jumped up a little bit. That's why I'm thinking this could be the time when ETH starts to shine a little bit. Because typically Sol and ETH are similar and BTC is leading. And now we've just flipped. We've just flipped over to ETH, which I think the whales are going to start to deploy. Of course, one thing is Trump's World Liberty Financial bought $220 million worth of ETH, which is sizable, but still didn't really move the price too much. But I haven't verified this, but that's one of the reasons. Now, let's move on to some actual crypto news, some really cool news. So this is from FP, who's from Sanctum, building Sanctum, and the first vote is live for Sanctum and Cloud. Sanctum is freaking legit. They're using MetaDAO's Futagi system, which is, I'm the most bullish on this governance system out of everything. Dupe's ASR is brilliant because it gets people involved, but it's still, people just click a button, right? There's no, Dupe will be successful, but Dupe will actually probably end up using some form of Futagi because it will make them more successful. They'll need to be red pilled, and that takes time. But watch this video and go and get amongst it, okay? Just trust me, you're not going to get rewards or whatever. There could be proposals in the future where people that use this and trade on it could end up getting more staking rewards, that kind of stuff. So you're actually encouraging more. That stuff's really cool. Also, there's a new proposal which is not voted, you can't vote on yet, but this is, should Sanctum implement cloud staking and active staking rewards? We need to check that out a little bit more fully, and then I'll let you know. Pump.Fund's monthly revenue hit an all-time high of 121 million in January, which is higher than Ethereum, and is absolutely freaking insane, which is why they are ripe for disrupting. They've got major market share, and there's a whole lot of stuff you can look at. Long story short, Pump.Fund is massively net positive. I say it's, there's so many rugs because there are so many rugs, but it's very net positive. Staking, Validator staking, like stake yourself at Validator.com. I have to say it every video because I genuinely feel that staking is a cheat code. When you go and gamble, you still got that little staked bag. Right now, you're earning like 11% because of all the MEV and the priority fees that are going. This is just making this entire ecosystem just grow and grow and grow, which is why we've got so much attention. And on top of that, due to their nature of setting up liquidity pools where you can't harvest the fees, there's billions of dollars of locked SOL, which no one can access. You can essentially deem it very deflationary. Maybe, yeah, actually, I think it's deflationary. I'll have to check. Either way, there is locked SOL which you cannot claim, and billions of it. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, Miles has his posts, and I don't necessarily, I read what he says, but I don't often agree. It gets a lot of engagement, but I actually do agree with this. And the TLDR is old seasons of previous cycles were far easier, especially if you've been around for a little while. Last year, the old season was easy. You could look at like 50 projects in the top 200 and be like, yeah, I want to go and put $500 into each or something. Now you can't, because pump.fun means that people build these conviction bags in something which is fun and then just gone. You need to go into meme coins and out of meme coins. That's what the LA vape cabal does. In, out, in, out, in, out. You need to have your core position, but even still, like I've got this core position in Pingu and Bonk. Very bullish on them, but I have no idea how well they're going to outperform versus just, holding SOL. And it's a little bit of a tricky thing. I'm still feeling it's going to be pretty up there, but Murad's Memedov's thesis hasn't really played out exactly how I thought it would. So I'm not blaming Pump.fun in the slightest, but they are making this blockchain, Solana, better and like more lucrative. However, it's also a far harder altcoin season. But if they didn't exist, someone else would have filled their shoes. Now, if you're wondering why Coinbase has so much strictness when it comes to like withdrawals and whatnot, like find a new exchange. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on Sphere. That will be worthwhile that you watch that. But in general, they're just getting fished. They're getting fished massively. They need bigger teams, a bigger team to actually deal with. I don't know, maybe you're going to have to start KYCing with like a video call, or I don't know, and then AI is going to step up and step up. How on earth do you navigate all this? It's going to be really, really tricky. So be super, super vigilant. Yesterday, I mentioned, or I did a tweet regarding Dupe, and if you used Solflare and Ledger together, you broadcast your email address when you actually sign up for Duperary to claim your rewards. And Cash, they did a Twitter space on it. A lot of transparency from Jupiter. The mistake, it's annoying, but to me, transparency is always far more better than a mistake. Mistakes always happen, I assure you. The thing is, you shouldn't be using something that's like Sebastian Montgomery 10@gmail.com. It should literally be bullishonsol@gmail.com or something. These kind of things, and then there's when it says the first name and the second name, it's Peter Pan. Who cares? You want to use these non-doxing things to connect yourself to different protocols and whatnot, and then you want to have your own personal email, like sebmonty.link is mine, for brand. People want to get in touch or whatever. So keeping that same kind of viewpoint. I had another DM from someone getting sent an email from FTX asking for the seed phrase. Appreciate you asking me before you go and give it, but if anyone ever asks you your seed phrase, it's a scam. Please avoid it. Please take your operational security seriously. It'll get better in the future cycles, but it's hard. I understand. There's been a whole lot more money rotating into the AI meta. So the AI meta is not dead. It has lost a little bit of kind of mind share because it's too much speculation, and we get better and better each cycle with not having insane amount of speculation. The amount of speculation we had on NFTs, as much as I love some of the NFTs I've got, DJ Nabs particularly, the speculation point on that, and they could have been successful, but they all could have been successful. Bored Ape Yacht Club was successful and then crashed. Even Pudgy Penguins, like that's a cool brand, but that value, Lucas put a huge amount of value into that. But reality is, you can't have this floor price of like $100,000, or Pudgy Penguin at one stage was worth more than 1 Bitcoin. That's a bit of a flip. That's a bit of okay, that doesn't work. So what I'm saying here is, there's money to be made here. We got to work it out. Of course, we have to work it out. But it's too much speculation. I think you're going to get wrecked most of the time. Moonwalk Fitness is now live on Google Play. Use my code, SebMonty, get amongst it, get fit. And Bonk Dragon, the claim was supposed to be live today, but now it's been pushed out to Friday, February the 7th. So check that out. The dog wants to make sure everything is perfect. Don't have any details regarding this or how much it's going to be worth, but I love Bonk. Whatever I get, I'm okay with it. Jupe Mobile, follow. This competition's already gone, or it's kind of finished. They're going to be doing a draw for $100,000 worth of prizes. 10 winners will be announced here on Jupe Mobile. So I went and did a massive invite campaign. It'd be lovely if I won a little bit. But either way, Jupe Mobile is a good tool to onboard someone new into just trading stuff. And then from there, you upgrade them to Solflare. And just as a little reminder, jump into your Solflare. Each day, go and do your mega toy machine with any tokens you've got from different NFT communities like Orphans, Monkey DAO, Barrows, etc. Tensor. The claim for Pudgy Penguins looks like it's still live. They said it was going to be closing in 5 days, which would mean it's closed. And they haven't given a lot of clarity here, so I have no idea why not. I haven't looked into it too deeply, but the TLDR is go and claim. And if you're a good cat, or if you think you're a good cat, you've got until Thursday to do this. So this is the link. Hop into Jupiter's Discord, fill this out, put everything on like why you did good stuff. I did a whole lot of good stuff for Jupe. I'm going to be putting it in here, and you should be doing it yourself if you've helped Jupiter. If you get something, cool. If you don't get something, you wasted a few hours. It's no big deal. Now let's just touch on a Meteora. So I'm in a couple of pools, and these are not actively being looked at. I'm a little bit busy, but I'm going to be spending some time doing some live streams on DLMing. So with Sol and USDC, let's have a look and see what we did with this one. Here we're selling our Sol at a higher price. And if we have a look at this one here, what we did is we set a USDC buy order, and then as it dropped down, I withdrew it. I earned some fees, nothing crazy, but I was buying this Sol at lower prices. So now I could withdraw this. I could keep it there if I want to, but I could probably withdraw and close the position, approve, and then I can even go and add another position to even start buying down at a lower price, bid ask. So if things start to fall on down, I'm not going to think it's going to go anywhere near that, but even below like daily support I think is like 178 or so. And I don't think we're going to go down necessarily. I actually think we're going to go far higher with the cryptos chatting at 2:30 today. So if the price goes lower, I'm going to get more Sol. If the Sol accumulates, I'm going to withdraw it and sell it higher. Otherwise, if I'm too busy, I'm going to earn some fees at the very least. So it's going to be, plus EV. With this one here, I'm starting to sell. And what I can do is I can take that USDC out and I can do what I like with it. It's, I'm selling at a higher rate than what I bought, or I can actually go ahead and withdraw, and I can withdraw like this, move this down. So I'm moving it down to here, withdrawing liquidity. It's a small amount, but I'm just going to do it just because a lot of people will be learning this sort of thing. I can claim the fees. It's 30 cents. You need to make sure they're not spending too much on a transaction. 30 cents is, well, I'm going to be spending 17 cents on transactions, so we won't do that. This is how I have my settings, by the way. I'm just going to remind you until everyone's kind of familiar. I have a max cap. I do not use exact fee because then exact fee overspends generally. Got my $5, which of course is not very much, but I can go and put this into a small range. And if it goes down a little bit, goes up, I'm going to earn a small amount of fees here, which could be 0.42% in the next 24 hours. And that's how I'm playing it with this. The GET one, maybe we'll cover this in the live stream later today, but I got to get busy with another tutorial. And in general, same thing applies with like Wrapped ETH and Sol. Don't know if I actually end up accumulating much, or I've got a little bit of ETH to sell as we go higher. That's how I've got that set it up. So as ETH goes higher, ideally compared to Sol, we start to win. Otherwise, we could have ETH paired with USDC if we feel that it will not outperform Sol. The final thing I'll end with is President Trump's AI and crypto czar David Sachs to host press conference today, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 UTC, about digital assets and how America will secure its position as leader. This, I think, will be a catalyst. So we could see a massive bounce in the market. You may want to go put on a long with a stop loss and then take profits if it actually pumps. And if it doesn't, it goes down, it hits your stop loss, you're out. You may want to do that. Nothing's financial advice. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.
Whoa.